Picture this. It's the end of the month. You open your banking app, and the number staring back at you is somehow lower than you expected. And the strange part is, you can't even explain where the money went. You didn't buy a car. You didn't take a luxury vacation. You didn't make some huge, irresponsible purchase. It was just small stuff. Food here, subscriptions there, a few impulse purchases online. And somehow those small things quietly drained hundreds of dollars from your account. Then you hear people online saying things like, just invest, just save more, just budget better. But here's the thing. If it were that easy, everyone would be wealthy. The reality is that most financial problems aren't caused by one big mistake. They're caused by small money habits repeated over and over again. And today, I want to walk through 7 money mistakes that quietly keep people stuck financially and how you can start fixing them this week. My name is James Harrington, and I spend way too much time thinking about how people build wealth and why so many struggle with money. If you're someone who feels like your paycheck disappears faster than it should, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Alright, let's start with mistake number 1. And honestly, this one might surprise you. Mistake number 1, not knowing where your money goes. Look, most people assume they have a good idea of their spending, but research from the Federal Reserve shows that many households underestimate their discretionary spending by hundreds of dollars per month. Why? Because small purchases don't feel important in the moment. $12 lunch, $8 coffee, $25 subscription. Individually, they seem harmless. But here's what most people don't realize. Those tiny expenses stack up extremely fast. For example, spending just $15 per day on small purchases equals about $450 per month. That's $5,400 per year. And if that $5,400 were invested annually at an 8% return, after 20 years, it could grow to over $250,000. This is where it gets really interesting. Financial problems often start with lack of awareness, not lack of income. The fix is simple. Track your spending for 7 days. Not forever, just 1 week. You'll probably notice patterns you didn't realize existed. Mistake number 2, lifestyle inflation. Here's something fascinating about human psychology. When income increases, spending tends to increase almost automatically. A study from the Bureau of Labor Statistics shows that consumer spending tends to rise nearly proportionally with income growth. In other words, people often earn more money but never actually feel richer. Let's say someone gets a raise from $3,000 to $4,000 per month. Instead of saving the extra $1,000, they upgrade their apartment, buy a nicer car, start eating out more, and suddenly, their financial situation looks exactly the same as before, just with bigger numbers. The solution? When your income increases, increase your saving rate first, not your lifestyle. Even directing half of every raise into savings can dramatically change your long-term finances. Mistake number 3, relying on credit cards for normal expenses. Now look, credit cards themselves aren't evil. In fact, when used correctly, they can offer rewards and protection. But here's the problem. The average credit card interest rate in the US is now over 20%, which means debt grows extremely fast. Let's say someone carries a $5,000 balance at 20% interest. If they only make minimum payments, they could spend years paying it off and thousands in interest. This is essentially reverse investing. Instead of compounding working for you, it's working against you. If investing at 8% builds wealth slowly, debt at 20% destroys wealth incredibly fast. The immediate fix? Stop using credit for purchases you can't pay off this month. Mistake number 4, waiting too long to start investing. This one might be the most expensive mistake of all, because investing rewards time more than effort. Let's look at 2 people. Person A starts investing $200 per month at age 25. Person B waits until age 35 but invests the same amount. Assuming an 8% return, by age 65, Person A would have about $700,000. Person B would have about $300,000. Same monthly investment, same return. The only difference? 10 years of time. This is why starting early is so powerful. Even small investments can grow dramatically with enough time. Mistake number 5, having no emergency fund. Here's a financial reality most people don't plan for. Life is unpredictable. Cars break down, medical bills appear, jobs change unexpectedly. According to a report from Bankrate, many Americans struggle to cover even a $1,000 emergency expense. Without savings, those surprises often get pushed onto credit cards, which creates debt, which creates interest, which creates long-term financial stress. Financial planners often recommend keeping 3 to 6 months of expenses in an emergency fund. But if that feels overwhelming, start smaller. Your first goal should simply be $1,000 in cash savings. Mistake number 6, thinking small savings don't matter. Here's something I hear all the time. Saving $50 a month won't change anything. But that's not actually true. Let's do the math. Saving $50 per month equals $600 per year. Invested at 8% for 30 years, that grows to roughly $70,000. Not life-changing by itself, but definitely not nothing. Now imagine increasing that to $200 per month. That becomes nearly $300,000 over time. This is where it gets really interesting. Wealth is rarely built through massive one-time decisions. It's built through small, consistent behaviors. Mistake number 7, not having a simple financial system. This might be the most important mistake of all, because without a system, money becomes chaotic. Bills appear randomly. Spending becomes emotional. Saving becomes inconsistent. Imagine trying to stay healthy without any structure, no meal plan, no exercise routine, no habits. It would be extremely difficult. Money works the same way. A simple system like the 50/30/20 rule or automatic investing can remove a huge amount of decision-making. Automation is powerful because it removes the need for constant willpower. Your savings happen before you have the chance to spend it. Now you might be thinking, okay, Jack, that's a lot of mistakes. And honestly, most people are making several of them at the same time. But here's the good news. You don't need to fix everything overnight. In fact, trying to change everything at once usually fails. Instead, focus on one improvement this week. Track your spending, start a small emergency fund, set up automatic savings, pay down a credit card balance. Small improvements create momentum, and momentum creates lasting financial change. Let me leave you with one final thought. Most people assume wealth comes from earning huge amounts of money. But here's what many studies of millionaires show. A large percentage of them actually built wealth through consistent financial habits, not massive incomes, which means your financial future isn't determined by one big decision. It's shaped by hundreds of small choices you make every month. So if you found this helpful, make sure to hit subscribe. And I'm curious about something. Which of these 7 mistakes do you think affects you the most right now? Let me know in the comments, because sometimes improving your financial future doesn't require a complete life overhaul. Sometimes it just requires fixing one money mistake at a time.